superfans? I'm Matt Stockholm, and this is another edition of The Quantum Corner. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. That will link you into our giveaway, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Okay, so for today's video, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Avengers Endgame, there will be spoilers, so this is your chance to walk away now. Okay, cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do, there's been a lot of different ideas for videos I'm working on and videos I want to do, and I'm trying to mix it up. For this video, and let me start out by saying, I love this movie. I definitely think it was awesome. It's probably my favorite movie of all time now. So I'm not knocking Avengers Endgame, but the reason I'm doing this video is because part of my job for doing these videos is being a critic as well. So what we're going to do is the top 10 unanswered questions for Avengers Endgame. Okay, so let's dive right in. Number 10, Clint's cell phone. Okay, after Banner snaps and what we think everybody is brought back, we kind of assume that, I think. It looks all sunny outside, the birds and the trees. Clint goes over and his cell phone's ringing and it's his wife Laura. So this begs the question, if she's been gone for 5 years and the whole world lost just about everybody and everything, how would her cell phone still be working? I know this is kind of silly, but some of these are a little bit, but seriously, like, you've been out of the game for 5 years. You appeared back, but it doesn't mean your cell phone's going to magically appear back with service on it. Clint's been on the run out in Japan, so I doubt he even has a standing cell phone. Maybe some kind of secret throwaway phone. So automatically she just shows up and she's got her cell phone 5 years later in service and calls him. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of questionable. Definitely when I get to the end of this, you know, I always want your guys' feedback, so let me know what you think on each one of these points. Okay, number 9. Peter Parker and Ned's reunion. Oh, it's so great seeing them together again. But here's the question. If this has been a 5-year jump now, okay, and Ned didn't get dusted, why does Ned look exactly the same age he did when Peter got dusted? I get Peter does because he's coming right back to this point in time. But I'm assuming Ned should have aged like 5 years, maybe even like 20, 21 years old. So it just looked like him and Peter were pretty much the same back to high school. And another question, Peter Parker, is he going to be old enough to be out of high school, or how does that work? So, anyways, let's move on to number 8, I'm sorry. How did Captain Marvel know about Tony? We don't get any explanation. She just shows up, rescues him, drops him off. You know, I'm assuming, I guess, from the post-credit scene to Captain Marvel, she didn't meet with the Avengers, but they really don't mention it all. They don't mention any way that she found him or why she found him. Did she run across it? It was just one of those things that they didn't even, like say something about it to kind of handle it off screen like they do with some of the other parts, which I'll probably mention a couple, but they just didn't say anything. They just kind of went right to whatever else. So again, I know this movie has a lot to it. Some things are just going to hit the edit room floor. That just happens. There's only so much you can fill in one movie, and that's probably a lot of the case for some of this stuff. But anyways, still had me scratching my head a little bit. Alright, number 7, Professor Hulk. Now if you're like me and you've watched this 3-movie arc from him going from Age of Ultron, to Thor Ragnarok, to Infinity War, to getting beat down by Thanos, Crisis, can't Hulk out, he's just mixed up, doesn't know who he is, and we're waiting for all this stuff to culminate in this movie to this one magic moment where Hulk, you know, whatever, I guess if he becomes Professor Hulk, great, but we didn't really get to see that moment. They show up at a diner, he's there being silly, being funny, kind of half Hulk personality, half Banner personality, and it was cool. I mean, I like the Professor Hulk and everything, but all we get is 18 months in a gamma lab. After all that work, all that story building, 3-movie arc, 18 months in a gamma lab. Okay, I'm going to move on. Now let's talk about the Stark Gauntlet. Okay, I'm sure if you were like me and like a fan of this idea and this, you know, theory and it actually happening was awesome. They did gather the stones, they did build the gauntlet, but all this theory crafting in it, would it be Uru metal, would it be vibranium? What would they use? We don't know. We know in the beginning they chopped the gauntlet off Thanos with his arm attached. Did they melt that gauntlet down and use that? We don't get any answers. We just see a perfected gauntlet and that's that. So another thing that they didn't really give us any answers for. Okay, I'll move on. Number 5, Doctor Strange. Okay, 1 in 14 million plan. All these possible theories, him bouncing around behind the scenes, in the Soul Room. You know, his part was kind of working as Adam Warlock and Doctor Strange throughout the Infinity Comic saga. So I was expecting, you know, all this stuff he's doing. What? Oh, that's right. we get an explanation from Spider-Man. Oh man, 5 years, Doctor Strange, he does the yellow sparkly thing, and we're back. Really? Marvel. Come on, man. Alright, so yeah, I thought we would get a little more out of that, and we didn't. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, now let's talk about, things are getting a little more thicker now. Past Thanos, past Nebula, all Thanos' crew, they die. Now, they came out of their timeline and died in another timeline. But for everything to work together, Thanos still has to collect the stones in his timeline, snap, like Doctor Strange said, so that the Avengers can lose, go back, and reverse everything. So it has to still happen that same way. But if Thanos from the past dies, how is he going to still collect the stones in the future? I don't know. So definitely, guys, give me your theories, your opinions on this stuff. That really matters. I'm just kind of like, what? I don't know. Maybe Marvel will find a way to square it up. The other thing is, Nebula killed herself. So how does that work out? Does she not have a future as Nebula? How does that, I mean, I guess if she's in the future and the Nebula's already there and this one dies, maybe it doesn't affect it. But it seems like for all that stone gathering and all that she went through and Guardians 2 and, you know, her time with Gamora, I don't know. Now these next three will kind of tie together with some similarity, excuse me. Soul Stone and Gamora. Okay, going back to what Hawkeye said, if it's a deal that can't be broken, this is like a pact of eternity, how is it okay for Gamora to come out of time and not affect it? Is it, I mean, I get it's the past Gamora who hasn't been sacrificed yet and she comes to the future, but is that again going to wreck the timeline for Thanos getting the Soul Stone? For one, he's not around, and for two, if he doesn't have Gamora to sacrifice, again, it changes for getting the original Infinity Gauntlet, which actually carries down to number 2. That was number 3 if I didn't say that. Sorry, guys. I know I get rolling. Number 2, Black Widow and the Soul Stone. Hawkeye says very clearly, it can't be undone. It's, you know, it's an eternal magic pact. She can't be brought back. Well, they went back in time and brought Gamora back, so who's to say they couldn't go back in time before she sacrificed and bring Black Widow back? Which brings me to part B. If Cap went back to return the stones, okay, and there's my last one's going to tie to this as well. How does he return the Soul Stone? If the pact was made, if Red Skull in the last movie, Infinity War, is able to leave Vormir after he gave up the stone, did he already leave Vormir because of Black Widow's sacrifice? How is he going to be back there for Thanos? Does Cap return the stone before she's sacrificed? A lot of this I'm just kind of tumbling around my head, guys, because I'm just not sure how is that all going to fall in line with the stuff that has to happen. Definitely want your guys' feedback on this. Okay, number 1, and this ties in as well. Loki! Woo! I think a lot of us were excited to see Loki in this movie, and if you didn't watch it yet, they have a kind of mess up when they're trying to get the Tesseract. Loki gets a hold of it and disappears. Now again, when Cap goes back to put the Tesseract back, is he able to return it before Loki has his chance to get away? Does that square that up? Or is he still out there floating around? Now, I know a lot of people think maybe this is a loophole for the Loki miniseries, but I know before they were saying that the miniseries was supposed to be a prequel and only, like, voiced over by Tom Hiddleston, kind of like, you know, narrating or whatever. So is this a way to tie him back in? Is this a way to tie him into Thor 4, which has been rumored lately? Could be. But I am curious, if Cap returned the Tesseract before this all that skirmish and stuff happened, then does it change Loki ever getting away? So, basically that's pretty much it, guys. Those are my top 10 unanswered questions. Please let me know what you guys think. Give me any answers or theories you have, any questions you have. I really enjoy connecting with you guys. Don't forget to find my social media stuff down below. It's also on my About Me. Connect with me, guys. Let's talk. Let's chat about this stuff. Yeah, I really enjoy that. So, don't forget, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. That will get you into the giveaway. Our next giveaway prize is at 200 and will be a winner's choice poster. So keep watching, keep sharing, keep paying attention, guys. For the Quantum Corner, I'm Matt Stockholm saying, Avengers, assemble! Thanks, guys.